Tom's hair? It's got to be Tom's. Quincy
Yeah.
Quincy doesn't shed yet.
No.
He's too small. He's got some fuzz. Have you seen the fuzz above his ears though?
It's so cute.
It's like ducks before they get feathers.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what he looks like. He looks a little mangy up by his ears. Isn't he adorable though?
Yeah.
He's such a little shit face.
I miss the 90s.
Well, they're coming back in terms of clothing.
That's true.
You ever see all those mom jeans rolling around? That hot European fashion?
Yeah.
Tons of it.
I miss Destiny's Child. I miss
Was that 90s or 2000s?
90s.
I guess it was late 90s probably.
Who was that? Chicken cherry cool. I don't even try to explain it. Just hold on tight, and if it happens again, I will move so slide into the arms.
Wait, isn't that your band? Ooh, I want you.
Yeah.
I'm
What the hell's her name?
at Savage Garden.
Savage Garden. Yeah.
Ooh, I gotta find out. I gotta find out. They are good. What's the song that you liked? Something on the mountain.
The
I
Moon.
wanna stand with
Oh, yeah.
you on a mountain.
I wanna be with you in the sea.
Now, stop.
Yeah.
Think about that last lyric.
Bathe with you in the sea.
I want to bathe with you in the sea.
But I wanna live like this forever until the sky falls down on me. Yeah.
So good though, right? Should I intro the song with Savage Garden so we get booted from YouTube and any post on Instagram? How did that guy just could hit some notes?
It's a falsetto, man.
He was
Very gay.
very feminine.
Yeah, very
He was
feminine.
very feminine.
Yeah, I don't know what the other guy did, but he's always on the album cover.
You know what it's like? It's like Chester from Linkin Park and the other guy.
That's right.
It's like no one knows the other guy's
Yeah.
name. They just know Chester.
Who's the guy that raps?
Yeah. Who's the guy that you could literally replace with anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Savage Garden.
Savage
Who else?
Garden.
Who else from the night? Ace of Base.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the sign. And I opened up my eyes. I saw the sign. You know what? I think the 90s produced more one-hit wonders than any other.
Tons.
I think all of the 90s were just one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
Or I think the 90s were indicative of bands that got really big really fast and then everybody turned to drugs.
It was grunge rock, man.
You have grunge rock. So you had Nirvana, rest in peace.
Oh, I
Kurt
thought
Cobain.
The Wallflowers.
The Wallflower. Dude, they were sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, what about Gwen Stefani's band? No Doubt.
Right. Oh, yeah, no doubt.
No Doubt.
No doubt.
Literally no doubt.
No doubt.
They were fucking incredible.
No doubt they were going to be big.
No Doubt is probably one of my favorites of the
Yeah.
90s because it was one big hit after another.
Oh, Offspring.
Off's still killing it.
Still killing it.
Now
man.
they're just old
They're
though.
just old.
Yeah. Still sound the same.
Blink 182 was late 90s.
Blink 182 actually 1996 I think is when they played like their first time on MTV.
Yeah.
So Blink 182 also getting old.
Getting old. Tom DeLonge.
I listen to dude, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Although now that the UFO information's out there, he's a little less crazy. The fact that things have been declassified and the Pentagon's like, oh yeah, aliens are for real.
He's
Tom
like, "I
DeLonge's probably like,
fucking told you."
I fucking told you this whole time.
Yeah.
But he's still off his rocker. I've been listening to a lot of Machine Gun Kelly, and he's doing these collabs with. He basically has Travis Barker do all of his drums.
That's sweet.
These are like fucking best friends. So a lot of Machine Gun Kelly's new stuff is like
Rock.
it's rock. It's like punk rock, and it's really fucking good. It's incredible to me because I've made this argument with just a handful of people who are like, "Why do you listen to Machine Gun Kelly? Like, what the fuck?" And I'm like, first of all, just listen to him for a little bit. If you listen to his rap, you hear his story, and then you listen to like the way he sings, and you listen to his guitar. He can play the piano proficiently, plays the guitar proficiently, can sing, can do multiple genres of music better than most people. I was like, he is incredible.
And he's from Ohio.
He is from Cleveland, currently living in Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's fucking incredible. His new songs that he's put out are so goddamn good, and they're just straight punk punk rock.
That's cool. I need
which
to listen
love.
to him.
So fucking good. I can play it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can.
Give me a snippet.
Let me see if I can get a plug-in.
You guys want to hear a snippet?
You want to hear a snip?
Yeah.
Hang tight.
All in all, this has been a weird week, guys. Like, I'm just emotionally drained.
Yeah, we met at the lounge yesterday, and I think both of us talked like tales of exhaustion. We're just like, ugh. Like, what is going on with life right now? Dude, ironically enough, I was listening to Machine Gun Kelly earlier because he's just popped up. Oh, I wanna stand with Michelle Obama.
The early 2000s had some good music too.
Kind of.
Tell me what you thought about when you were gone.
Oh, that is for sure
so
punk.
alone.
What was the name of that band?
Starting Line?
Worst is over.
Is it Starting Line?
Starting Line. You can have the best of me. We got older, but we're still young. See, now some people are not going to like this, but this is his new song called Concert for Aliens, which I really actually dig.
Okay.
Like, this is real punk rock.
Yeah, it is. Copyright! Demonetization! YouTube hates us!
So the best part is like if people haven't really listened, so I say this, but like I've listened to Machine Gun Kelly for a very an intensely long time now.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what I listen to every single day. I'm gonna see if I can find like one of his actual like raps.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so goddamn different than like that song Concert for Aliens is
That's cool.
100% punk rock.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
is.
Travis Barker playing the drums.
Yeah. I dig it.
He's so good. So here's that soundtrack from that stupid movie with Will Smith on Netflix, Bright,
Oh, yeah.
with like the fucking alien dude.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Someone take me home.
Copyright the song.
Long fighting power through the struggle just to let a little trouble knock me out of my position and interrupt the vision. After everything I witnessed, after all of these decisions, all these miles, feet, inches, they can't add up to the distance that I have been through just to get to a place where even if there's no closure, I'm still safe.
Warner Brothers Records.
Trying to keep pace. Somebody give me a sign. I'm starting to lose faith.
You know when they're like,
All my dreams.
they do that to songs. Like if you're hearing samples of songs you want to buy or like that someone else is like, they interrupt it with like
yeah.
the brand label. Like,
Yeah, they do that in like the
like,
store
Warner
demos.
Brothers.
Yeah, they do that in when you like put on headphones at the
yeah.
store.
Yeah.
They always have that.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
Remember when that was a thing? Like when it was cool to go put on a set of headphones at like a record store
or
and play
Best
shit.
Buy or yeah.
and just play through like sample albums.
It used to be just record stores that used to do that, and then
Yeah.
Best Buy caught on and we're like, we're gonna
Yeah.
sell every music thing you could
Yeah,
think
and you'd
of.
have that big red button that you hit.
Yep.
And
yep.
it would just cycle through a sampling of songs.
Yep.
Yeah, those were the days.
Pick your artist and then you go.
Dude,
buy
I
the CD.
remember buying CDs from Best Buy.
Yeah.
Like that sounds weird to say that because it wasn't that long ago.
It really wasn't.
But there I would argue that there's people that listen to our podcast that have never bought a CD.
Like, do you know what a cassette is, bro?
Oh, there's definitely people who listen to us that don't know what a cassette is.
Yeah.
But we used to listen to cassettes.
Do you
Do
know
you remember what a Walkman was?
Do you know what a floppy disk is?
You know how much porn you can get on a floppy disk?
One video. One photo.
Probably not just one photo.
One photo now.
One low-res photo.
Yep.
Grainy as shit.
Yep.
I remember using floppy disks at school just to save, like, if you wrote something, right, on the computer.
Yeah, we had to if we took it home or something.
Right,
like-
you had one floppy drive that could literally store one document that was maybe 2 pages long.
Yep, pretty much.
And that was it. Now we have, like, terabyte upon terabyte upon terabyte of storage that you can literally put an insurmountable amount of fucking data on.
I know. I can't wait till they build a supercomputer big enough to create a human.
Yeah.
Or to be as intelligent as a human brain. Because they did a quick
Who's they? Anytime someone says they, I question who they're talking about.
Big Brother. And they, Big Brother, said that based on our current technology, if we wanted to rebuild the human brain,
Yeah.
it would be as tall as a skyscraper.
Whoa.
And
Now, what if someone had a brain as tall as
in
that?
servers and computers and data?
So do you think people with like elongated heads have more brain power?
Maybe.
Like if your head was like
Yeah, maybe.
this tall versus just our shape?
That's
Or if you had a squished head if you were less intelligent.
Yeah, that's possible. I know Dad's solid state drive's going out in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been shook a little too much.
It's been maxed out for a little while. And he's constantly having to delete files.
Did something happen that I need to know about?
So he can save new memories.
I do say that, though. That is actually a real thing.
Yeah.
Where I was, there are times of which I feel my brain's at capacity, and I'm like, for me to store any more or to bring more information in, I have to delete shit
You have to
out of my
archive
skull.
some shit.
Yeah, I got to put shit away.
Yeah.
I can't just keep feeding. I only have, and here's the thing, I'm on a real limited space. Where you may be your MacBook Pro,
Yeah.
I'm my MacBook Air. I don't have as much. I'm still pretty good, but I'm not as good as a MacBook Pro. I've got to constantly move shit in and out.
I'm waiting for a moment where you just take a little flash drive
Yeah.
of my teen years and just plug it in.
No, dude. So
And it would just be it would play whatever I wanted to watch.
Didn't we talk about this on the podcast, the Neuralink that Elon Musk developed?
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah,
which
we
is
did
the little
talk about
fucking
that.
implant in the brain.
Yeah, we did talk
Oh,
about
that shit's wild. That's going to be creepy. Speaking of, listen to that on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan moved. He's not in LA anymore. He moved to Texas.
Smart boy.
Yeah. Went to Austin, I think,
Mm-hmm.
and he's building a studio right now. Dude, all these comedians, there's three that have already three big ones that have already left. And from what I've heard, there's 3 more. And they're all just like, fuck you, California, we're out.
Yeah.
And they're just going to start. Because here's the thing. If you think about it, like I obviously follow comedy super close. So you have the Comedy Store, which is like the mecca, right? And it has been since like the 80s. And it's had its ups and downs. But big comedians have played in
Yeah.
the Comedy Store. You have COVID-19 that hits, and now there's all these mandates for, they're like, we never know when these stores are going to open again. We called this place home because we had all these great clubs in the area, but we can't perform at them anymore due to COVID-19. And then there's a whole bunch of political shit
Yep.
that they're just not. I think it was like the straw that broke the camel's back, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the reality now, where the store helped these guys get their trajectory into comedic stardom.
Yeah.
They're so big on their own now that they don't need that platform anymore. So the idea is like Joe Rogan is going to leave. Well, he's taking his $100 million Spotify deal with him.
Yeah.
He's leaving LA, going to Austin. Do you not think for a second that Austin's going to be the new comedy mecca? If Joe Rogan goes there, everybody's going to go there because everybody wants to be on his podcast. So you're going to fly all these comedians in, and then you're going to have all these. I guarantee you're now going to start seeing all these big comedy venues
stores open up.
that will open up.
Yeah.
And then you've got guys who are going to go to Denver. You've got Joey Diaz is going back to New Jersey. I heard Theo Von's going to go to Nashville. So all these guys are going to move. They're going to move into these big cities that are now going to be these huge comedy hubs just because they're bringing their presence there.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I've always wanted to go to the Comedy Store to that was one thing I told Lauren pre-COVID. I'm like, I would love to on my birthday, because you can get tickets for certain days. You don't know who's going to be there.
Yeah.
But I could say, okay, August 21st is my birthday. That's a Friday. I want to go to the Comedy Store. I don't care who's going to play. I want the experience. There's a ton of people that do that. Well, now, I mean, think about what you have to do. I got to get a ticket to LA, right? I don't know who's going to play. Now, if you have guys all over the country, it's like you're not sequestered to just LA to watch good comedy. You can go to New York. You could go to Nashville. You could go to Texas.
This poses a smart economical financial decision on my part. If other industries follow suit
Yeah.
from what California is doing to them from a business standpoint, they leave,
Dude, there's a mass exodus.
that California is going to be on the decline,
Yeah. It already
which
is.
means property value is going to decline.
Correct. It already has.
Bud, I'm talking to you
You want to go to California?
and maybe talking to the audience, that little lens there.
There is no part of me that wants to go to California.
No.
Okay. You want to blow up California?
No. We buy property at its lowest point
Yeah.
and we Airbnb it out. As property values rise, we increase our rates. And if we find a place downtown,
In California?
yeah, or like on the beachfront,
But what if it never comes back?
it will.
What if it just stays garbage?
I think it will.
I'm not saying that it won't, but man, it certainly doesn't help. There's a lot of things that don't help. Political policies in California, people fucking hate. You have such a disparity in class, right? And you have all these stuck up fucking progressive little pussies,
College students.
which is why a lot of people want to leave. You got all these fucking yuppie hipsters. People don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
You have corrupt politics. You have stupid policy. You have high taxes. You have all these things that make LA not reasonable to go to. The only reason I think LA sustains how it sustains as a city
Hollywood.
is Hollywood. That's it. Actors, movies. That's it. If that shit wasn't there, you just transplant all those things to another area, and that becomes your Hollywood mecca.
The other one is Fortune 500 companies, which really could ostensibly go wherever they want as well.
Right, which would be Silicon Valley area.
Right.
And so then you have this too. Not saying that the headquarters changes, but like Twitter closed down. There's no
going
building
remote.
anymore.
They're
Yeah,
going
everything's remote. So you could take that business anywhere you wanted to.
Yep.
And are there that great of tax incentives now? You don't think another city would be raising their hand going, we would love to have Twitter in Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
Here's your tax deferment for 30 years.
And it's just a P.O. box.
Right. It's just a fucking P.O. box. But they're going to get the tax off of it, right? Like, I just don't feel that there's anything compelling keeping people in California anymore, specifically LA. Northern California is a shit show too. Dude, look at San Francisco. People are literally shitting on the streets.
I know.
Property values went like this, and then people started shitting on the streets,
There was
and they went like this.
There was a study done where people had the hard time telling the difference between a chocolate eclair and human feces.
And the streets of
In
San Francisco.
Yeah, in the streets of
Yeah.
San Francisco.
And people were just sampling
And they were
each.
eating, they thought there was free eclairs on the sidewalk, and it was actually human shit.
Jesus, that would be so funny. Isn't that weird though? Like
Someone, look at this. Look at this perfectly good payday that someone left out there.
What's strange of it is like I hear a lot of these comedians talk. Like I won't listen to a celebrity talk about LA because celebrities to me are just so fucking disingenuous and fake.
I think
the time.
they're so socially far removed.
Oh, they
from
are. That's what I mean by just
normal
they're
people.
like robots.
Yeah.
So I listen to comedians that talk about LA, and it's funny listening to like, oh man, I pay all these high taxes. I don't really get much in return. My, the cost of living is fucking way higher. All these things are higher. Traffic sucks. All this shit. There's homeless people everywhere. So finally, like everyone there is like, why the fuck are we here? Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
There's no benefit to us being here.
I know some beautiful, beautiful spots in Arizona
By the way, they have rattlesnakes too. So there's that.
with population 10
Yeah.
that
Flagstaff.
could really use some more neighbors.
What if like someone like Joe Rogan, being as powerful as he is, I mean, he's literally called the powerful Joe Rogan. Think about if you're Joe Rogan and you just built a city. Let's say you went to a town of 100 people and you're just like, we're going to build a city around this town.
We're going to,
And all of a sudden it just like,
we create an epicenter and you fill it with consumer products and goods that the community will thrive off of. That's small business.
Yeah.
That breeds more people to start small businesses, so it grows.
So you have a small business society, essentially.
Yeah. But it's all part
the
of
big
a
guys out?
community. Yeah, just keep it all part of a community. Like Yellow Springs.
Yeah, Yellow Springs is kind of encapsulated.
Yeah,
isn't it?
they don't bring in chains. Like, if it doesn't
Yeah,
fit
there are
their,
no chains. Yeah,
if it
there's
doesn't
none
fit
there.
their motto, they're like, fuck you.
Youngstown used to do that.
Yeah.
But Youngstown only did that because they didn't want the big chains in there because all the fucking mafiosos ran all the local shit.
That's
That's
true.
how they got all their money.
Yeah, that's true.
They fucking kept Kroger out of there for like 30 years because of extortion and shit.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
That's crazy.
There was like no big chains in Youngstown.
If
for
we
the
were
longest
going to
time.
start a city,
Yeah.
what would be our first step? We got to convince the locals.
Well, so if you're gonna start a city that is already populated with people, yes,
So we
you
got
have to sell the idea of what you're trying to do,
So we got to.
or you kill them.
So we need to look the part. We need to look like we're local, rural people.
Yeah,
So probably 1970s garb attire,
right.
right?
We're rich oil folk.
Rich, but maybe we have a pickup truck, a real old one, like in 1980s,
You got to run for city council or mayor. That's how you get your
Yeah.
political power.
Yeah.
Someone does
and we do all of our speeches from the back of the pickup truck.
with like a bullhorn.
Yeah, like citizens of, I don't even know what we call it.
Yeah, what would we name our city?
Schitt's Creek, and we.
Yeah, it's already a name.
That's true. It is.
Do another name. Think of a name. Think of a good name. If you could name your own city, what would it be?
Dewey's Place.
Why?
I don't know. It just feels appropriate.
You should think about that a little harder.
Yeah.
How about Sherwood?
Ooh, Sherwood. Like Sherwood Forest?
I was just looking at my hockey stick.
Oh. Like I thought we were.
I was just looking at things around the room, and I was like, "What can I call it?"
Isn't Sherwood Forest in Robin Hood?
Is it?
Is it
Did you
called
say
Sherwood?
there's a place called Sherwood Florist down the street off of Far
I
Hills?
thought it was called Sherwood Forest.
I mean, it could be
I could be wrong. I could be thinking of the
the florist.
botany. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I feel like it would be so hard to start a city, right?
Would it though?
Because I feel like wouldn't they have already?
Not really. Sometimes people just lack the intelligence. They lack the forethought. They lack the idea. They lack the energy. They lack the ambition. Sometimes people want to be told what to do.
I want to build a city
With the golden goose?
that is powered entirely off of solar and wind.
It is technically possible. Now, your amenities are going to be limited.
And we'll call it the Windy City. Not Chicago.
The windy, sunny city. Yeah.
And we'll have flying cars because we would have developed solely in our city magnetic.
Don't you think that's strange? Do you remember when we were younger how flying cars was the thing that they said, like, in the 2000s we'll have flying cars?
Yeah.
Guess what we don't have?
Flying cars. You know why? Because people can't just drive on one axis or two axes
Yeah.
of just
Yeah, now we have to figure
X,
out.
of just X and Z.
Yeah.
No one knows how to do that.
Yeah, we don't know how to drive
You
in three
include that.
dimension.
You include that Y. There's gonna be so much fuckery.
Yeah, how do you do it? What's
Yeah.
traffic control look like?
Yeah, terrible.
And honestly, the practicality of a flying car these days doesn't make any sense.
Drunk driver fell out of the sky today.
Drunk driver hit a flock of flying geese.
That's true. We share the air with Mother Nature.
There is no. I remember how exciting of a topic that was when we were younger, thinking about the idea of a flying car.
Now I have seen a Volkswagen Beetle with just giant wings on it.
That has zero lift. Literally zero lift.
Yeah. I don't know. Flying cars would be cool.
I
if
think
you
there's
could fly.
no practicality to it at all
There's
anymore.
zero.
It makes no sense.
Now cars on rails, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Multi-tiered rails. self-driving cars that
Yeah, why don't they do that? So we always talk about
have every option, because it's not like you're going to be going around other vehicles, right? So
Right.
you could technically just have single rails, multiple levels.
and we have talked before about like the train systems, the high speed rail systems that they're developing in the U.S. now. Finally, we're only fucking 30 years behind everyone else.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be cool if you could just take your car and just like plop it on the rail system and just shoot you across wherever you need to go, and then you just unload and boom,
Yeah.
then you can drive inner city, and
Yeah.
that
Not
would
to
be
mention,
dope.
2 movies come to mind. Willy Wonka with Wonka Vision.
Oh yeah,
The ability to transport one Wonka bar to
Right.
another location.
You mean
broken down into
dissolving-
millions of tiny pieces
dissolving information and reforming it.
and reconstructed
Right.
on another end. That's sweet, right?
Right.
If humans could do teleportation, that'd be sweet. And the second one is The Fly. Now, I understand there might be some issues.
You mean the movie The Fly?
Yeah, there might be some issues with the idea that should we get into a capsule for teleportation where something else is with us and it like
Right. You morph
jarbles
and
our DNA
that's The Fly.
and I come out like a maggot / human.
Fucking hair like growing
Yeah.
out your back.
That would be good.
Right. That'd be treacherous.
But I feel like teleportation would be a real saver. Imagine like you long distance relationships.
No longer long distance.
No longer long distance.
Isn't
Like,
that what we have Zoom for though,
it's like,
really?
oh, it's so horny. You're like talking to some woman from the Philippines in the middle of some jungle.
Right.
And you're like, I want to fuck that.
And then you're like, zip.
And then she's like, oh, so horny. You call me Tempe. Like, and I'm like, yes, I'm down. Be there in 2 seconds. Just
Yeah.
like, press the button. And I'm right there. And like, boop, and I pop up. And she's like, oh, you here?
You know what? It makes leaving really easy too.
It does. It's like, we done?
I do think at some point, I don't know if
It makes
teleportation
assassinations easier.
Dude, yeah. If you could just point yourself at any particular period in time.
Like any human,
But wouldn't we all be dead though?
we'd all be dead.
We would all be dead.
Everybody would take advantage of that.
Yeah, because you could just like, yeah, that would literally be.
We'd have to have a system where it goes like, do you want to accept this incoming teleportation? It's
Yeah,
like,
you'd have to decline.
Maggie's on the way. You're like, yeah, I'll accept. You like press the button. She's like, bloop.
That would be pretty crazy.
That'd be cool. Like a friend request.
Could you imagine people like trying to get in the White House?
Oh, yeah. Just like billions of invites. Putin's like,
Just decline.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Putin, did you hear that Russia and Putin have claimed to have the first real vaccine for COVID-19,
I've heard this.
which they tested in a very limited fashion.
I heard
I think this is just a power play where he's just like, oh, it worked on one lab rat. And he's like, we did it. Let's just give it to everybody.
Yeah.
It's like a typical Russian move.
It's like, we beat U.S. at it.
Yeah. We beat the U.S. and then come to find out 10 years later, it's giving everybody like horrific cancer.
Yeah.
Like cancer of the eyes or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't trust anything
Start
Russia
growing
does.
some rat whiskers.
Dude, it's weird because I admire. It's like Russia's the strong, stupid brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if it was two brothers, let's say U.S. and Russia.
You're like the young smart one. He's the old dumb
He's
one.
just the
bra-
old
the
dumb
brawn
one
like
that just wants to be like. Everybody thinks the U.S. is so smart. I could be smart too.
Yeah.
But everything they do is just one hilarious mistake after another.
Johnny, you dropped out of high school.
Yeah, that's Russia.
That's Russia.
That is Russia.
They never finished their education.
Now I like Russia.
I do too.
I would love to go to Russia.
Yeah.
I think I would get along with Russians really well.
I would love to visit the Kremlin.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
Wouldn't it?
A lot of weird shit happens.
I know.
Lots of weird shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I would like to meet someone like Putin because he's KGB. And in particular, I just want to meet a KGB member.
That would be sweet.
I should be like, how many ways do you know how to murder someone without a weapon?
Teach me.
Yeah, show me one move.
Yeah.
One fucking move. And you know they could do it.
Spetsnaz.
Is that what they're called? Or is
No,
that
that's a name of a rocket ship.
Oh, no, I think you're
What's
thinking
it called?
Sputnik.
Oh yeah, I thought it was Spetsnaz, or it was like a military thing.
It's possible.
I could be wrong.
I thought that was like the name of a firearm or a grenade or some shit.
For the 2 Russian members that we saw on Google Analytics that listens to us, what is the military fighting thing called? Is it Spetsnaz?
Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
military faction that's like our Green Berets.
I thought that was their
Or like
the
our-
KGB. Or is it like a faction in the KGB?
Like super soldier badasses.
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Wasn't Jean-Claude Van Damme part of those super soldiers? He was.
Was
He
he?
for sure was.
No, I think you're thinking of.
Nope. And
Are you just thinking of Guile in Street Fighter?
Nope. It was called Universal Soldier.
That wasn't Jean-Claude Van Damme, though, was it?
Yeah.
Universal Soldier was?
Yeah. For sure.
Oh, maybe it was.
Yeah.
That was a cool movie.
And he like dies, but they bring him back, and then they like
Yeah.
make him slightly like robotic, superhuman-ish,
Yeah.
with like these injections and stuff.
Cool movie.
Very cool. Ahead of its time.
Yeah. They should. That's one to remake.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But that's what that's what's gonna happen to the world. Like, wars are not gonna be fought by just any old human.
No.
They're gonna be like super beings or robots.
Well, it already is. Look at drones.
I know. It's crazy.
The mass destruction drones, by the way, during the Obama administration, so many people are like, oh, Obama's just this nice, charismatic guy. He's killed more people with drones than any fucking person has ever done. Not him
Personally.
at the controls, but he is off. This is not a political thing.
No, but he did press the button.
Yeah, he did give the orders.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh,
Well-
it's like, no, he killed a fuck ton of people.
Well, I think it's about time he dies.
Yeah.
You know?
I probably should just stop.
Probably should.
Actually, should I say it on here? I don't hate Obama.
I don't hate Obama.
I would like to I would love to drink one of these with Obama. Dude, you know that guy's got some fucking stories.
Oh yeah.
He is the kind of guy, charismatic enough to literally sit down and just fucking hang with. Let's shoot some hoops. Let's take some shots.
That's so racist.
It would be, he's a basketball player.
Oh.
That's what he did in the White House.
I thought you were going stereotypical.
No, he literally shot hoops
I'd be
like
like,
every day.
what
This
if-
is exercise.
What if I would like baseball?
That's a pretty good Obama impression. What if I want to throw the pigskin? I feel like he'd be a cool dude to hang out with. I would never want to hang out with Trump. I would love to hang out with Obama. Biden, maybe 10 years ago, before I knew how creepy it was, and he sniffs the head of little girls.
Let Biden get a little bit more dementia, and then you take him out on a night on the town. Watch that
Just lose
motherfucker
him.
lose. He'd go crazy.
He just walks straight into a lake.
He would go so crazy.
Yeah, he would go crazy. Could you imagine someone like Joe Biden, like on cocaine?
Yeah.
God, that would be fucked up.
Yeah. Biden in his current mental condition on hallucinogens would be the wildest time ever.
It would be the longest panic attack you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, yeah.
He'd probably just seize up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or start thinking everybody's like, I don't know, Vietnam
Just a blast back
soldiers.
to it's crazy shit. Fucking American politics. There you go.
I know, man.
A big giant fucking popularity contest.
But that's what makes 90s music great.
Yep.
You know?
Let's circle it back. Circle back to 90s.
There's always a purpose to the ramblings.
But we should probably get into a review.
Yeah, sure.
We've got a review today.
Yeah.
I felt it necessary to take a break from the interviews. I just didn't want to do anymore, like anytime soon. We've had multiple people reach out, and I would like to just put out a sincere apology for not booking any of them for the month of August. I just don't feel like it.
Yeah.
That's a great thing about having your own podcast is you can just do what you want.
It's true.
And I'm just a little burnt out on the interviews. I was stoked to have Alex on last week, but that's more of like just a fucking cool bro conversation than it is having to talk about
sure.
dumb shit. I don't want to say dumb shit. That's a bad way to say it. But just like talking about like, hey, there's certain agendas and topics that you've got to discuss when you're talking to a manufacturer, right? Especially if it's for the first time. Mm-hmm. That's not like last week was just more of a casual conversation between people who know each other. Bros, you know?
Yeah.
But I really wanted to get back to talking about cigars. I feel like there's a lot that we missed that it's old news now, but there's a lot of stuff we didn't really get to talk about interrelated to cigars just in like the last 2 months because we were just talking about brands.
That's true.
So when I'm talking, I'm going to get back to the cigars
yeah.
themselves, you know?
Like, what is a cigar made of?
Is this tobacco?
Can you smoke it from both ends? Do you have to use fire? Can a cigar be lit
Yes. The answer is yes.
by the power of cold?
Yes.
Those are the things I want to get back into.
Yeah, it absolutely can. You're onto something there.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
You just want to get back to for science,
Yeah.
which you haven't done in a considerable amount of time.
I feel like there's plenty of science-y things I can do with cigars.
Like what?
Like, can you puff from your anus?
Oh, yeah. You wanted to try that before, didn't you?
Yeah. Can I receive nicotine
Through your
through my anus? Plus,
little brown.
can I taste it through my anus? You know?
Well, your asshole doesn't have taste buds, but you could sure get the induction of nicotine.
And like,
That would hit your bloodstream.
what eye drops work to prevent you from having to do this? When you're squinting real hard when the smoke blows in your eyeballs, you're like,
That happens to you. That doesn't happen to me very
Yeah.
often.
you know, and it's like all in your eyes and you can't see and your eyes are watering. What eye drops work for cigars?
What if you don't need eye drops? What if there's a mechanism that can be created, like goggles?
Goggles would work. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is a simple solution. Versus eye drops.
You know what you should do?
What?
I never even thought about this. To understand, just from a sensory perspective, from your taste buds, what it would be like to smoke a cigar with your nose plugged.
Ooh. Yeah, since the nose is so powerful in dictating taste.
Yeah. You should really try that. Do the same cigar back to back and do one with your nose plugged and see if the derived flavors are different, if they're muted, if they're the same, if there's no, if there's no change at all.
I do know that when you're sick, cigars do taste more bland.
Oh, yeah. I never smoke when I'm sick
'Cause of
because it's
congestion
a
and,
waste
like,
of a fucking cigar.
Throat burns.
Yeah. I never smoke when I'm sick because of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Dude, write that down. That's a good one.
You know how you can make your ears pop?
Yeah.
You know how, like, all this is connected?
Yeah.
What if I took a hit, held my nose, held my mouth, and did
Have
that,
it in your eyes?
just like that, where you, like, puff your face out to, like, make your ears pop? If smoke would come out your ears. Like the cartoons.
Nah.
Like the Warner Brothers
I'm
cartoons.
for sure going to tell you to try it,
Yeah.
but I don't think you're going to get the outcome you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we try it, though.
Yeah.
Just to
For
see.
science. Yeah.
For science.
You got to try it.
Yeah.
Let's get into this cigar review, shall we?
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, do you know what we're reviewing today?
Ooh. Took me 1,000 days and 1,000 nights. Traveling across a great vast ocean. Through great feverish swamps and jungles. With monsters lurking from the shadows at every corner. When all I had was my torch and my trusty Colt. It took me a long time to get there, Corey. I traveled across hills and valleys, over top of mountains, freezing, fighting, fist fought a grizzly bear. And a Kodiak bear as well. They look the same, but they're different. All to come across what I've been searching for 1,000 days and 1,000 nights. And you know what I found?
What'd you find?
Mil Diaz. Mil Diaz. The fabled, mythical place that when I got there, I was like, I don't see it. You know why? Because it was so small. What I thought I was searching for was a city, a civilization. Nope, just a chunk of tobacco. About 5 by 50 ish.
Also known as the Millis Diaz,
Yep.
the Meek Mill Diaz,
Lil Mil Diaz.
the Mila Kunis Diaz. You got all kinds of names.
Yeah.
But you got the Vitola wrong.
Well, I know it's called.
Although I'm not sure what we smoked because the Vitolas are so.
I thought it was the Edmundo.
It is the Edmundo. I literally and just visually inspected, which is a 5 3/8 by 52.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
I
a
looked at it
Robusto.
and I was like, yeah, I think that's right.
It's a little bit wrong. It's a little bit longer.
But the Vitolas are so kind of similar in size.
yeah.
Like that range from like 5 3/8 to 6, and then just different variations of ring gauge. And I was like, God, these are all real similar.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's true. I was really having a hard time.
Like double Robusto, Corona,
Yeah.
Gorda. I was like, Jesus, like just.
Well, we
they're
know
all
what the
fucking
blend works in, which is smaller cigars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But yes, for all of you listening, this is the Mil Diaz by Crown Heads.
And why is the Mil Diaz
Called?
special? Well, we
Oh.
know why it's called what it's called. It means 1,000 days.
Right.
Pretty easy to decipher. But
Well.
why is it special?
It's special because we say it is.
Right.
But
True.
two,
Factor number one.
but two, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first, maybe second, second cigar to come out of the Pichardo factory.
Correct. Do you know what the first one was?
This one.
You know what it is.
Um,
You just wouldn't think about it because it wasn't outwardly known in the marketplace for a very specific reason. The Juarez was the first
Yeah.
Pichardo cigar for Crown Heads,
Yeah.
but it was a Thompson exclusive at the time.
That's true.
So all the factors of where it came from and what it was in the marketplace were, I would say, a little diminished and diluted.
That's true.
Once Juarez was obviously pulled from Thompson and was readily available to the entire marketplace, it blew the fuck up. It's got to be one of Crown Head's most popular cigars now, which honestly to me is why I was so excited about the Mil Diaz, is because I've grown to just love the Juarez so much and what it represents as just a really good valued cigar that I was interested to see it as a second cigar, the very second cigar being blended by or produced by Pichardo, what it would, if there was going to be a comparison, similarities, vast differences to what the Juarez was or is. I was very intrigued by that. So
Yeah.
let's get into the cigar, Chris. First of all, how do we break these down?
Man, I'm glad you asked because I had to read this 1,000 times. Hopefully I get it right without any hiccups. Ready?
I'm ready.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Each cigar review is broken down into 3 main categories: construction, you got burn, and flavor. To throw in a little extra kicker, we see if the cigar is worth the price for a possible bonus or deduction. Then finally, we average out our individual reviews, giving you guys our final recommendation.
What also makes this cigar special is that as people listen to this episode, it isn't on the shelves yet. So like the Crown Heads Las Calaveras 2020, we reviewed it roughly a month before it actually hit the shelves.
Yes.
This one will probably be a matter of like a week or two because they're
Week or two.
supposed to hit here in late August.
Yep.
I think a lot of them are kind of being wrapped up now, and things are being finalized, and they'll, of course, shipped to each one of the individual retailers. So that's what makes this special for us, is that we're actually releasing this before it even hits the marketplace.
It will continue to do so
Yes.
in an orderly, methodical fashion.
Yes. What I like about this cigar and what I love to review about these cigars is the components. Now, this is where I think this cigar is going to be uniquely special
Yeah.
to me in terms of what it's going to produce in flavors. This is an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper,
Yes.
Nicaraguan binder. The combination of fillers is what I'm most excited about. Costa Rican,
Yep.
Nicaraguan,
Yep.
and Peruvian.
Ooh.
Costa Rican and Peruvian are two, which we've talked about on the podcast before. we actually asked this question to certain manufacturers that we talked about and saying, hey, what regions are underdeveloped in terms of tobacco? Which ones are exciting? And Costa Rica and Peru they were always a topic of conversation where people wanted to learn more, explore more, utilize the tobacco from those regions. In this particular blend, you have that, and you have it in parallel with what would probably be more of a traditional Nicaraguan filler. That combination to me alone got me excited to smoke this cigar. Now, I've had this cigar before already.
Yes.
I had like the pre-release.
Pre-banded.
Right, pre-banded. This is a pre-release band that we smoked.
That says not in production.
Right, that says not in production on the band. And then, of course, the regular production cigar will be out here in the next few weeks. So the combination of tobacco used in and of itself got me excited to smoke the cigar.
Yeah.
So let's get into it.
Can we maybe, as we go through this review?
Oh!
Yeah?
Before we do so,
What?
we did agree that we smoked this in the Edmundo
Edmundo.
at a 5 3/8 by 52. Price point hasn't been set on the individual cigars, but from what I could tell,
It's going to be around 10.
I could have definitely just asked. Is going to be between that $9.20 and $11.50.
Yep.
So I kind of split the difference and just went with like a 10 to 10.50.
Yeah, can we call her Lil Millie?
Lil Millie, yeah.
Sounds like a cute little girl name.
I could have called it the Millie Vanilli Diaz. What it just sounds like, Mil Diaz sounds like a Spanish rapper.
Kind of does. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are you going to go see tonight? I'm seeing fucking Joyner Lucas and Mil Diaz.
I'm going to call see Lil Mill.
Lil Mil.
Lil Mill.
It's actually not a bad rapper name.
I know, Lil Mill.
Lil Mil.
Because, like, Mill stands for millions.
Yeah.
And you're little because you're a teenage rapper.
You're a Lil Mil.
Lil Mill.
Yeah. God, remember when Lil was like the big thing?
Oh, yeah.
Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah.
And now it's just Bow Wow.
Yeah.
But his stature hasn't changed at all. He's no
still
bigger than what he was when he was Lil Bow Wow.
He's still Lil Bow.
Yeah, you're just Lil Bow Wow.
Yeah.
You can't be Big Bow Wow.
Yeah.
You're too small.
And what type of dog goes Bow Wow?
And also, you have like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Now, as Lil Wayne gets older and he's gotten older, do you call him Big Wayne? Like, what do you call him? Old Wayne?
If I was Chinese, you call me Lil Wang. It's like a older
Lil Wang.
Big Wang.
There's got to be some sort of progression to the name. If it's Lil, what happens when a guy gets fat?
Yeah.
Going Fat Wayne?
And like
Big Wayne?
A Spanish rapper woman called Little Cha Cha.
Ew. It sounds dirty.
Yeah, it is. It's for
Yeah.
vagina.
Lil Cha Cha.
Yeah, Little Cha Cha. I love
funny.
it. But this is Lil Mill.
Yeah, we're gonna call this now forever known as
Or Millie.
Lil Mill or Millie. All right, let's get into the breakdown of the cigar. Chris, what did you think about the construction of this pre-release sample?
Yeah, man. So right off the bat, this is different than I've ever experienced with a lot of Crown Head cigars that come out of like the My Father factories, Drew Estate factories, etc. Like this one had a little bit of give to it. It wasn't like a cigar that, you know, was like super rigid like I'm used to seeing with a lot of Crown Head cigars. I know it's intentional and I know it is because I did the review, but they purposely did not overly bunch this cigar. But it had a little bit of give to it, but still had the kind of like rough texture, which is definitely indicative of like maybe an Ecuadorian. Not as bad as like a San Andreas or like a Connecticut broadleaf, but it had a little toothiness to it, you know, like a little toothiness.
There's some fur on it for sure.
Medium sheen, kind of a light brown wrapper with kind of a slight reddish hue, just slight, a warm brown.
Yeah.
Well, I guess all browns.
If it was on the
technically warm.
Pantone palette of colors, what
Yeah.
would it be?
Like
Burnt macaroni?
I would say like a rich caramel.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
You know?
Or maybe like a milk chocolate.
Ooh, like a milk chocolate
Yeah.
with a little bit of cayenne pepper.
Or maybe like a butterscotch milk chocolate.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah.
Those sound tasty.
Sandpaper.
Ooh, Yes.
I like that one.
I do too.
Don't know what sandpaper looks like.
But it was all in all, great construction. I believe it had a triple cap.
Yes.
But it was a really nice construction. Now, we didn't have production vans, so I'm not going to grade you on your branding.
Yeah.
But I've seen the branding.
Pretty primitive.
It's
The actual bands are dope.
yeah, it's cool.
They look cool.
Kind of an oval. You'll see the M.
The
white
lazy the
band.
lazy pre.
We got the lazy one.
Well, here's the thing. Most pre-release are just a designation of fucking a combination of letters and numbers.
Yeah.
This at least had something to it.
It had at least a
which
logo.
is cool. But I actually like the label for Mel Diaz. I think is pretty dope.
Yeah, the oval and the M.
Yeah,
on a
it looks
white
cool,
band.
and it's like that sharp red.
Yeah.
It looks neat. Yeah.
Looks like I'm a Knights
But
Templar.
it's okay that we got the retarded one.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I thought the construction on this cigar was flawless. Here's what it reminded me of. It literally reminded me of a Plasencia cigar. And maybe this satisfies my OCD in terms of things being like very well produced and overly symmetrical.
Yeah.
But there's no bumps or ridges in this cigar. It was super smooth, which is what it's weird to me just from a visual appearance perspective. I like that. It's not that I don't like cigars with bumps and ridges. I like that some of them are primitive in nature, like that they just look like
Everyone's stick
just
is
super old school. It's like what I remind. It reminds me of like, okay, well, if like an original Spaniard rolled a cigar, here's what it would look like. It's almost imperfectly perfect. This was just perfectly perfect.
yeah. It's like porn worthy, because like, not everybody's stick is created equal. Some are super veiny,
Right.
kind of bumpy,
Right.
crooked.
Crooked. This is
This was the opposite. This is something you want to see in a photo.
yes.
Something you want to see in a
This
video.
is an artistic piece that let's just say I was a middle-aged white woman that wanted to take a sculpting class,
Yeah.
and the figure of which that came in that was represented for me to sculpt,
Yeah.
which was probably some good-looking homeless guy
Uh-huh.
up on a pedestal with his dong out. That's what I saw. A perfect specimen,
Yes.
symmetrically sound,
Yeah, a little squishy. It wasn't quite hard.
a little squishy.
You know what?
I do agree with you in terms of didn't seem overfilled.
No, it's like it's been fluffed a little bit, but it's not entirely hard yet.
Yeah, it's like it's what I imagine a porn star being before you put the hot sauce on his anus.
Yeah.
Just kind of like where his dick's really throttling up. It's like turning the crank handle on a Model T.
Yeah. Plus, it's like nothing really excites him anymore.
Right.
So
you got to do some weird shit for him to really get hard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the hot sauce in the rectum's for.
Yeah.
It really gets you going.
Yeah.
Gets that blood flow.
Yep.
But I thought it was awesome. I
Yep.
thought the construction was great.
sure.
What do you think about the burn?
I'll tell you what, it was pretty solid, man. This was a 1-2 puffer for me. This weird Vitola called Edmundo.
Yeah, the whole like 5 3/8.
5 and
What a
3/8.
fraction. You
You
know,
know, I talked about this.
let's get on the metric system.
I talked about this with someone very clued into
What
the
a 5
cigar
and 3.
industry.
You know, this is actually indicative of Crown Heads though, where they do like the 5 7/8, like the mule kick. It's
Yeah.
like 5 7/8. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, let's get away from the fucking harsh fractions.
But I have a theory.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay. I talked this over with someone who's also in the industry. All right.
Okay, tell me their name.
Tyler.
Okay.
And I
Could
told
have
him,
just said Tyler.
I told him, don't you find it interesting that you find these weird lengths in cigars, but to a point that they're not quite Toros? And he's like, yeah, that is kind of interesting. It's like, I have a theory. I've seen a Toro rolled,
Yeah.
and what I've noticed is that the long fillers that you have in the inside
Are never 6 inches.
are never that full length. So
Right.
what you end up having to do is grab more long fillers, and then you break them off.
Yeah, and bunch
and
them
you
at the end.
Fill them at the end.
That's why you get your pitting issues on
Right.
a lot of cigars. Is
Right.
the connectedness of one tobacco leaf to another.
But what if 5 3/8
Is
or
right.
5 1/2 is perfectly long? It's the perfect length of the long fillers.
It could be.
You know?
Maybe that's why Robustos burn so well.
Yeah. Crazy to think about. That's maybe it.
I think, I mean, I've always said this, the difference between an inch, like if you're talking about a traditional Robusto, let's just say 5x50,
Sure.
and a traditional Toro, which you talk about 6x50.
Yeah.
You're likely to have way more, and there's got to be a percentage increase, and I don't know what the statistic is because I'm pretty sure no one's ever run it.
Mm-hmm.
But the increased likelihood in a percentage of having more issues with a 6x50 than your 5x50 is probably exponential.
Yeah.
So I would actually kind of agree with you that a 5 3/8 may be the perfect Vitola.
Could be.
Or the perfect, I would say the perfect length.
Perfect length for tobacco filler.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Could be. You may be onto something. Another for science.
Could be.
That takes a little more research, but...
That definitely takes, and it's, yeah, that's true. But I will say this. Burns really well. 1 to 2 puffer for me. Good smoke production. White ash. Burned pretty evenly.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. No issues. No pitting. No nothing. No, our whole test, we do that. We sit it down.
Yep.
We travel 5K. When we come back, still it. It's a great burn.
Usually my hold test is just me having to take a shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's usually roughly 5 minutes.
But I had no issues with burn. 0.
I thought it was a nice easy draw on the burn. So I would say, just in relation to what we talked about as far as like it not being overfilled, is probably conducive of an easy draw. Mm-hmm. And I would say adequate smoke production. I thought it was kind of par for the course. Yeah. I did have one abrupt outage.
Ooh.
Which obviously created a relight. That was the only challenge I had. It actually burned super evenly. Mm-hmm. Just kind of exhausting a nice like light gray ash. Mm-hmm. It smoked pretty beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't anything to be like super wowed about it. There was nothing, that I was just like, holy shit, this was incredible.
Yeah.
But there wasn't certainly anything where I was just like, God, this is challenging. Yeah. Minus the one outage.
Yeah.
I would say adequate par for the course.
Yeah. I get it.
All right. So arguably the most important piece of what we review would be the flavor. What did you think about the flavor overall? Now, I want to say this. I want to keep in comparison because I've had other Pichardo. I've had a bunch of the Ace Prime stuff at B&G's. Mm-hmm. But in relation to, because this is the second release of Crown Heads using Pichardo as a factory to blend from and to produce their cigars, in comparison to the Juarez and on its own, what did you think about the flavor?
Oh, here's what I'll say. All right. In order to answer your question.
You gonna ask me a question?
No.
Okay.
One must experience all he can experience to have a diverse but accurate opinion as to what's the difference, right?
Right.
I've smoked the Juarez. I'd say getting close to like 60 to 80 times.
I mean, I know I'm up there.
Yeah.
It's been a lot.
It's probably a lot.
Usually every time I go to the lounge, I smoke a Juarez.
It's probably 60 to 80.
Yeah. It's a good chunk.
So I know what that cigar entails. Mm-hmm. I will say, I found this one to still have a significant difference. While some things were kind of similar, I think from a spice component, they were similar. Kind of medium-ish spice. Not too overbearing, but always there. But where it stood out compared to a Juarez was the tangy, woody, and spicy notes in a kind of triage that I got. And what's also interesting about it is when I took light hits, it was creamy and tangy. If I took heavy hits, it was spicier and made my throat burn. You know?
Were you inhaling these?
Maybe. But what I think the distinction of this one has compared to the Juarez is I found the flavors to be very, how you say, sharp and bold. There was a richness to it that I think was more rich than the Juarez.
Yeah.
Which maybe is indicative of a complex flavor profile. but I thought it was wonderful. Not a whole lot of change-ups. That was pretty consistent. It depended on how I sucked on it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
If
Light
I
versus big, full, meaty.
If I sucked soft, it was creamy. If I sucked real hard, it caught me in the back of the throat. but I felt like it was a pretty crazy flavor. It was so sharp. Like I felt like the flavors were so pronounced. They didn't change up a lot, but they were so just great.
Yeah.
And the spice was always there, which I loved.
Yeah. I would say your experience probably didn't differ from mine a whole lot. One of the notes that I made was the cigar doesn't change a lot.
Yeah.
Some things become more apparent, some things drop off, but from a consistency perspective, there isn't that huge transition that you see in some cigars where you're like, wow, really peppery and earthy up front, transitions into something that's a little bit more smooth, mild, and creamy as you enter the second, third. It's like, no, most of the flavors were there. They may have been interlaced differently in certain points of the cigar, but they never really eroded away completely.
No.
There is a nice pepperiness up front. It's weird. It's something I enjoy in a cigar more and more than I usually did.
Wakes up your palate.
What I liked about this cigar was it has that striking bitter tanginess, which I prefer.
Yeah, it was great.
That is a preference of mine. Just from an opinion perspective, it is a bias that I have towards cigars that when I get that tangy bitterness, that is something I very much enjoy.
Yeah.
It's why I like my cold brew coffee.
Yeah.
Especially the light blend. I like that as a flavor. To me personally, sometimes I want to subtract out and minus the sweet and creamy, and I'm going to bring on something bright, tangy, and bitter.
Yeah.
And this cigar has all of that with it.
Yeah.
There is a complexity to this cigar, and I said make a comparison to the Juarez, although they aren't really comparable at all other than the fact that they come from the Pichardo factory. I do agree with you. There seems to be a heightened complexity with this cigar over the Juarez, and the Juarez is fucking incredible for what it is.
Yeah.
It's so good. This is almost at a next level in terms of the actual balance of the cigar and the flavors that are brought forward. They seem to be more apparent, and they seem to be like, I would say, more in your face. It's like when you get something of something in the cigar, if you get a bit of pepper and you get a bit of earthiness, it's almost like it takes your head back a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of driving in a 600 horsepower car and you hit the throttle and your head slams in the back of the seat. You go, oh, fuck, there it is.
All I'm saying is, like, I encourage you that when this cigar comes out, which is going to be in a week or a couple weeks, because we're running out of days in August.
Yeah.
Suck on Millie softly. See if you like it.
Yeah.
Suck on Millie hard. Totally different animal.
See if she comes.
That girl, she likes it both ways. But she's going to give you a different response depending on which one you choose. So just try her out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
Try it different ways.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe even upside down.
Yeah.
I thought the combination of flavors was actually kind of simple. But
they were simple.
But they worked.
And I had a hard time. I've always looked for that distinction of, like, what makes Costa Rican or what makes Peruvian. I had a really hard time figuring out which one was which.
Yeah, I did too. It's weird having the combination together.
Yeah. I had a real hard time telling the difference.
Because I love Peruvian tobacco
I
love Costa Rican tobacco.
Yeah.
Blended together, it was like this whole other world of...
Yeah. It was really hard to tell.
Like that, the combination of flavors that interlaced, I mean, even from a filler component to the wrapper type, it just worked well together.
Yeah.
It's weird. And you know what is... So what I wanted out of this cigar was something vastly different. Not only that we get from Crown Heads typically, from the EP Carrillo factory, the My Father factory, from Drew Estate. I wanted something different in terms of all those things. I wanted to smoke something different than anything else that's really been released. And the Mil Diaz separates itself from a flavor perspective from all of those things. And I would even argue from a construction perspective. Again, I made a comparison to what I believe is probably some of the most beautifully constructed cigars in the industry, being Plasencia cigars, specifically their own branded stuff. That's what this Pichardo cigar, that's what this Crown Heads Mil Diaz reminded me of. Symmetrically sound, super smooth, just an absolutely flawlessly constructed cigar. Even the cap placement. I actually wrote a review. I don't know if it's in the recent review that I wrote that I haven't published yet, or if it was the one previous to that. I actually think it was on this last one. The cap structure. There is just an OCD part of my fucking brain that says if that fucking thing isn't perfectly placed on the top, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. And this, if you look at the cigar, which I have a picture of, and I will obviously post it coming up, is goddamn fucking flawless. Yeah. What that tells to me is the time and attention that's put in the cigar is exactly what you want. You're paying a premium for a cigar. You're paying $10 for a smoking experience plus. Needs to be perfect.
You're probably thinking right now, Corey, aren't you being a little too critical about the cap on this goddamn cigar? Does it really matter? Yes, it matters. Are any of you... I'm going to ask you, audience, looking at the lens, right? Are any of you Jewish? Do you wear a yarmulke into your place of worship?
Yeah, do you want a perfectly placed yarmulke,
Let me ask you,
to be sloppy?
Let me ask you this. When you went to your place of worship, did your dad say, fucking fix your yarmulke? If he did, then you know the importance of looking prip and proper.
Yeah.
No matter what. That's the same how Corey thinks about his cigars. You
also,
come looking your best.
Also,
don't look lazy.
Anybody who throws darts, do you want the bullseye to look wonky, or do you want it in the center of the goddamn board? Do you like looking at somebody that doesn't have a lazy eye versus something with a lazy eye?
Yeah.
I want to look into your eyes. I don't want to try to look at one eye going here and one eye going over here.
Let me ask
you.
So
make sure that shit is centered.
Let me ask you this. You're going to go on a date. Girl has a droopy eye. Think you're going to go out with her again? Nope.
Anybody who's a gun owner, do you have a scope on your rifle? If you do you want that scope to be right down the center, pointing directly at your target? Do you want everything to be centered perfectly? That's what I want in my cap structure.
Yeah. It's okay to look for perfection, even when perfection is, for the most part, unachievable. But you can be close, and you can at least fucking try.
Yeah.
That's all Corey's asking for.
That's all I'm asking for.
He's not looking for perfection, but he wants to make sure that someone's at least fucking trying to make sure that goddamn cap is straight.
A lot of people say practice makes perfect. What I say, practice makes progress.
Yeah.
That's what I care about.
That's
I want to see your intentionality. Mm-hmm. And I saw it in the cigar. And I thought the flavors of the cigar, for me personally, it's right in my wheelhouse. Like this is one that I'll smoke over and over. It actually, so where I like bright, and I'm not going to make this into comparison to another cigar in terms of how the flavors were represented, but just to give somebody an idea of my excitement about cigars that have flavor profiles that end up being a little bit more bitter and tangy. Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the ME2, the Mexican Experiment 2 by Tatuaje, in terms of like, I love the bitter brightness. I just am kind of over the whole fucking traditional Connecticut broadleaf thing and the fucking Nicaraguan puros. I'm just kind of over it. I wanted something different, and the Mil Diaz coming to the market could not be any more perfect timing because it's just fucking different.
Yeah, people.
And it's good different.
Let me ask you this. You gonna eat pizza every night?
How
long is it gonna fucking take?
Hey, some people do.
I know there's people that do it to the extreme.
Yeah.
That also said the doctor told them they're gonna die.
Yeah. They're 700 pounds, and their diabetes is literally causing them to lose.
But how long are you gonna eat your favorite meal before you get sick of it? You need something different, right? Yeah. If you lived at your house and the only thing around you was Mickey D's, Burger King, Wendy's, Arby's,
any of the E's.
At some point,
Skyline E's.
At some point, you're gonna get sick of fucking eating them. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, when they gonna put a Penn Station in? When are they gonna put like a like Fazoli's.
I'm confused about your. What is your dialect right now?
I don't know.
I thought you were going back to Obama, and then you went to like fuck Baptist preacher,
I don't know.
and then you morphed into like. So I will say you morphed into a guy. This is really funny. I sent an email to a guy today.
Yeah.
Named Woods Buckley.
I already love him. I already love him.
I fucking love him too already. Just the coolest fucking. So you went from Barack Obama to Baptist preacher to Woods Buckley all in one sentence.
That's okay. That's okay. But it was great, man.
Yeah, yeah.
But you gotta have something different, man. Stop pretending. They like, oh, I wish they still made this. Fuck you.
So we have smoked, and let's try to end. Let's end on this thought in terms of flavor.
Yeah.
Crown Heads, you have the 2020 Los Calaveras release, which I have already argued is probably the best release in a long time.
I don't know, man. That 2014.
That 2014 is pretty good. I still argue 2017 is better than 2014. That's just me. But I would say it's probably one of the best.
It's really good.
Los Calaveras releases.
It's milder, and it's so
and I love the 19, but I thought the 2020 just elevated.
Yeah.
Then you have the new release of the 2020 Mule Kick, which the Mule Kick is my favorite limited release. I look forward to it more.
So it's the 18s.
The 18 is
That's
my
your Mecca.
Mount. That's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
That is like my all-time. If I had to pick an all-time favorite, if there was a cigar, someone said, "Hey, you knew you were gonna die tomorrow. What's the last cigar you're going to smoke?" I'm probably going to pick up the 2018 Mule
And
Kick.
I love the 19.
I just smoked it actually.
I
the
love
other day.
that
It was so good.
Sumatran.
The 19 was incredible. So you have the 2020 Mule Kick release, you have the Mil Diaz, and you have the 2020 Los Calaveras, and then you have the 4 Kicks Capa, which I haven't had yet. So out of the 3 that we know we've smoked, where do you stack the Mil Diaz?
Ooh. That's an interesting question.
Now, don't say too much because of a review release that we still have to put out.
Yeah. I want to say, if you're interested in Crown Heads after hearing us talk, there is very likely a cigar for any type of smoker.
It's a good political answer.
Yes. There's a cigar for everyone in their lineup. They have such a diverse lineup that you can find something that you're going to like. As it compares to the rest of them, I want to say it's for the people that have gotten past the I'm a hard ass, I want to smoke the most bold, most nicotine,
Right.
biggest ring gauge, fucking
Right.
cigar I can find. I think the people that are going to appreciate this one are the people that have a very diverse, sophisticated palate, that have tried a lot and aren't afraid to go like, yeah, I like it a little bit more milder.
Right.
You know, the spice is there, but I like it a little bit calmer. But it's sophisticated. It's complex.
Yeah.
You know, when I retrohale it, it's an amazing flavor. And people are like, what's a retrohale? I was like, well, you haven't been smoking long enough. You know?
Yeah, go back to the basics, bitch.
Go back to basics. I feel like this is for people that have really stood the test of time cigars that are going to appreciate the complexity that Crown Heads has gone through for the last 8 years, 6 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they get wiser and they get more, I don't know what's sophisticated.
Yeah.
But this one I think this one,
It's like everything gets tighter.
it does get tighter. And I feel like this one is just a calm, collected cigar that it's just different than some of the other cigars in the lab. It's like the other ones are a little bit more wilder, more spicy heavy. This is something else.
I think this
It's on a horizontal plane, but
this cigar to me seems experimental
yeah.
in comparison to a lot of their cigars. It seems like if you were to create a family tree, you would have this nice rounded out Crown Heads family tree that begins to bloom and blossom.
Yeah.
And then you have this Pichardo piece that sticks out way over here.
Like Who Married the Asian?
Yeah, exactly. Like the fucking branches go this way.
Yeah.
And you go, well, someone needs to trim that tree, or do you just let it grow and flourish?
You let it grow.
I think you let it grow and flourish.
I do too.
I personally, again, this cigar, the flavor profile of this cigar is in my wheelhouse, but I could see how some people wouldn't like it. I will say that it's in my flavor wheelhouse because I love the bitter and tangy. There's some people that just don't like that. This is not to me personally, this is not a for everybody cigar. There are certain people who are going to attach themselves to this cigar. If it's experimental, you like to try new things, you love diversity in what you smoke, or you err on the side of you love that earthy, bitter tanginess with the pepper as like a supporting role, you'll love this cigar. But there are going to be some people who I can see it now, and I already anticipate this is going to be a bit polarizing. I think you're going to get people that go, I don't understand. And then you're going to get a lot of people who are going to be hard dick riders and go, the fucking Mil Diaz is the shit.
Wouldn't you say, like, if I was going to smoke this cigar in a day with multiple cigars, I'd probably want this at the beginning of my smoking
it's got to be the first.
Because if you smoke at the end, you're not going to probably get a whole lot.
I think this needs to be the first one you smoke.
Because there's so much subtlety and sharpness flavor that on a fresh palate, you'll probably appreciate it really well.
Yeah.
But at the end of your night, you're probably like, there's like nothing great about it.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. So let's say from a value perspective, we always talk about whether or not we are going to give the cigar a pricing bonus or delta. What did you give the cigar? Understanding that it's going to be somewhere in that 10 to 10.50 range.
Listen, I'm getting 3/8 more, baby.
Right?
Getting 3/8 more, baby.
Makes all the difference.
Makes all the difference. Fuck, that's quantifiable, right? That's something.
Right.
That's money. That's money.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So to me, it's worth the 10.25-ish. It's probably gonna come in at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the price is fine, man.
Yeah.
It's a sophisticated cigar. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, good ending on that. I think it's if it comes into that 10.25 range, say on average, I think it's definitely appropriate, especially because, again, you have the Juarez that's come out as a value line that's got
$5,
rave fucking reviews.
$6.50.
So if you're gonna elevate that with the Mil Diaz, you've got to kind of come in hot and heavy. It's got to be a better cigar, which I would argue it is a better cigar. I'm not saying it's a better value. I think it's a better cigar.
Yeah.
So I think just given what you get in terms of Vitola, what you get in terms of the flawless construction and the flavor profile, I think it's appropriate. And it's in line with most Crown Head cigars.
Yeah, I do too. I agree.
So I like that factor. So I think it's appropriate. Now, what's your recommendation?
Great construction, great burn. I didn't have that one outage like Corey, so I can't speak to that. But the flavor, while consistent, was amazing. Very sophisticated, sharp, pronounced flavors. Great for the start of your day when you're smoking. Great price point. I think it's worth it. You're getting 3/8 inch more, baby. Who can complain? Right? Get a little bit more.
Right.
So, that said, mine comes at a highly recommended cigar. Highly recommended. Remember, we don't do scores here anymore, people.
Yep.
Highly recommended.
Flawless construction, adequate burn, flavor profile in my wheelhouse. Love the tangy, love the bitter, love the fact that the combination is not really that diverse. I like how those flavors are long lasting. That's what I liked about the Juarez, is the Juarez doesn't have that many change-ups. What you get is great, and it's great all the way through. That's how I think of the Mil Diaz. So I also give it a highly recommended score. Yeah. Absolutely great cigar for the second iteration of a cigar that's come from the Pichardo factory via Crown Heads. I think it's amazing.
Can you mouth the number?
Yeah, I can. Whoa.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah. I think that's a great score.
Yeah.
It's not technically a score. It's more of like a recommendation.
Right.
But know that we do scores underneath.
The recommendation.
Like, if this was Wizard of Oz, you see that green face on that screen. But behind that curtain, we're doing all that crazy shit.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just seeing green face.
What you need to understand is as the cigar hits the marketplace, as it hits shelves, it is one that we would highly recommend you get your hands on, especially if you're somebody who loves to experiment and explore new cigars. I think this one is going to wow you. Think about it. Combination of filler tobaccos being Costa Rican, Nicaraguan, and Peruvian. Dude, how could you not? Who else is getting sick of Nicaraguan puros? Specifically from Aganorsa. This guy.
Yeah, it's just, you gotta change it up, man.
Yeah.
And I think I've yet to see one that's doing a blend like that.
It's just some weird, funky combinations of flavors, which I
It
love.
is, and
I dig it.
Like rare, kind of. Think
Yeah.
about Costa Rican.
Yeah, not easy. Peruvian, not easy.
Yeah.
I dig it a lot. So, all right, let's wrap it up.
Oh, what a great review, Corey. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you and go over these notes that we have procured
Yeah.
during our review process. I'm always thankful of your time.
Yeah. I'm thankful of my time too.
Yeah.
Visit our show
Yeah.
sponsor. I'm thankful for your time. Visit our show sponsor, My Cigar Pack, at mycigarpack.com. Enter promo code
Hot 10.
HOT10
At
at
checkout.
checkout for $10 off
$10 off.
your
First
first
package.
pack. There you go. Last month or this month's August, fucking the best pack by far if
They
you're
look
getting the
good.
medium to full pack.
Did you see Corey's post?
Yeah, Chris, yours is up there, by the way, so make sure you
Sweet.
grab that. Literally the best pack I think that's come out yet. Super stoked about it. So if you are interested in the August pack, make sure you hit up mycigarpack.com, promo code HOT10 at checkout for $10 off your first
Yeah.
pack. Also, check out our website, www.hotticketweekly.com. We've got new fucking reviews coming out on some really fucking hot cigars. Got another one that'll be posted here today or tomorrow. Waiting on Chris to get me some stuff. But it'll be posted very, very, very soon.
Yep. It's
then,
a special review.
It is a special review. So check out the website. Tons of reviews. I think we're posting at a frequency of once a week now, but probably heighten that to probably 2 times a week here as we move forward, or close to,
Yeah. For sure.
including the podcast episodes.
Yes.
So make sure you check that out, www.hotticketweekly.com, for videos, news, reviews, interviews, and more. Cheers, Chris. I think it's episode 162.
Yeah.
We're drinking Baker's today.
Yeah.
It's pretty delicious. Pretty sure this is a Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. I can't remember.
Imagine Millie
Vanilli Diaz.
shows. If we had 1,000 shows,
Yeah.
how crazy would that be?
Yeah, that'd be crazy. We'll never make it. One of us will be dead
Think
by
about how
then.
old we'd be.
We'd be pretty fucking old.
Like, yeah.
We'd
For
be
one a
pretty
week?
old. Yeah.
I mean, nearly 50.
Yeah, we'd be up there.
Why are you millennials still paying attention?
For sure. All right, let's get out of here before Chris can't walk out of here. Thanks everybody for listening. This will conclude episode 162. We'll be back at you next week with 163. See you, everyone.